thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
The king.
Musician.
Well, what is the real you, for God's sake?
I have a question.
You welcome, please, Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy.
How you doing?
Who the is Eddie Murphy?
Never been the real me ever on screen.
I've done a lot of different characters.
But who is Eddie?
The greatest comedian of all time.
Some of the best acting I've ever seen.
The king.
Musician.
Oh, it's good.
I sing. I'm funny.
But who is Eddie?
To understand Eddie, we have to start here.
In Long Island.
Long Island, USA.
I grew up in Roosevelt, Long Island.
Roosevelt, Long Island. I grew up in an all-black neighborhood.
How old were you when your parents divorced?
3.
Did your father continue to be a presence in your life?
Very little.
My father died when I was like 8, so I didn't know him then,
His real father was a transit cop and amateur comedian who left home when Eddie was 3. He was killed 5 years later by a jealous girlfriend.
I think about my father a lot, too,
From 3 to about 8 was crazy. Remember tuberculosis, you would get TB, they would have to isolate you. My mom's got TB and we had to go to a boarding house and my mom was isolated for a year. And we went to Miss Jenkins' house. Because my brother said, if I was walking down the street and I see Miss Jenkins right now, I'd punch her in the face. Miss Jenkins was so mean.
Eddie and his older brother Charlie stayed at the boarding house for about a year and a half while his mother was recovering from tuberculosis.
You've said staying with her was probably the reason that I became a comedian.
I escaped into the television. I started doing voices really, really early.
And why you want to say that? Don't I sound just like him?
When I was a little boy, when we would get in trouble, the punishment for my brothers was that they couldn't go outside. And when I got in trouble, the punishment was I couldn't watch TV.
I like makeup movies, but when I was young, I always watched movies like Planet of the Apes and American Werewolf in London, wherever there was something with some makeup. I'd do so many voices, my mother would say, well, who's Eddie? Where's Eddie?
He'd find out eventually.
What high school did you go to?
I went to Roosevelt High on Long Island. Howard Stern went to this school. Julius Irving, Dr. J went to this school. I went to this school, and Public Enemy, Flavor Flav. All within 15 years of each other.
I started out as the class clown, and from the class clown, I went to the school clown. From the school clown, I went to the neighborhood clown.
Your high school briefcase was full of joke books.
13, 14, I started saying that I was going to be famous.
I knew really, really early that I wanted to do this.
And he knew something was coming. It was in the stars.
A fortune teller told my grandmother, someone from your family is going to be very famous, he said. And all my uncles and my father and all of them went into show business.
Where the fuck, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I've been noticing something and it's not even, peep how they said fortune teller. You mean to say somebody decrees something on somebody's life with the power of words, fortune teller. Where did this fortune teller come from?
I was always a kid that did voices and was funny and stuff, and all the bars started having gong show night.
It's the Gong Show!
So I went up to one of these gong show nights. That's where I kind of got started.
What did you do when you were on stage?
I did all of Richard Pryor's material.
See, he up.
When I heard Richard Pryor and it's an album he did in 1974 called That Is Crazy, I was like, oh, that's who I am. Richard Pryor, Bill Cosby, I grew up, looking at and admiring those two guys.
We'll get back to them.
Did you have a happy childhood growing up? Did you have a
Very happy.
fun time?
Very happy, very, very normal childhood.
Eddie was raised by his mother and stepfather in middle-class Long Island.
When my mother and father broke up, I had a little tragic period up until 8. But Mr. Lynch, who raised me, he's such a good man. I was raised in a household with 2 parents and a lot of love and a yard. And there's no darkness at the root until 8.
Middle-class.
Very, very normal childhood.
Eddie was raised by his mother and stepfather in middle-class Long Island.
When my mother and father broke up, I had a little tragic period up until 8. But Mr. Lynch, who raised me, he's such a good man. I was raised in a household with 2 parents and a lot of love and a yard. And there's no darkness at the root of me being funny. I was just funny. And I was never creepy outside. I graduated most popular boy.
When I was about 15 years old, I started doing talent shows and stuff like that. When I was about 17, I started working out at first I went to the improv. And I hated it, and I went to the comic strip, and they gave me more freedom on the stage.
It's okay, you got permission. I ain't gonna hurt nobody.
I became a working comic by the time I was 18 years old.
I want to get, famous by the time
I was 8 stage.
It's okay, you got permission. I ain't gonna hurt nobody.
I became a working comic by the time I was 18 years old.
I want to get, famous by the time I'm 21. I'm 19 now. I give myself 2 years.
And then at 19, they gave me this show and ruined all that for me.
Beginning on October the 11th, Saturday night, we'll open up a whole new live venture from New York City, from Studio 8H here at Rockefeller Center.
Live from New York!
See, I ain't gonna lie, chat. I feel like back then it was more of a treasure to actually have character than it is right now, because social media, you see everybody could have character or put on the act, but y'all see it right here, like.
It's Saturday night!
You've only ever auditioned once in your life.
I auditioned for SNL when I was 18, and that was my audition. They had a cattle call, like the original cast left in 1980, and they had, or 79, and they had a cattle call. They were recasting the show, and I was doing stand-up. I was working at the comic strip in Manhattan.
It was just one guy in the office, the guy named Neil Levy, who was Lauren's nephew, and he's just sitting in the room by himself. And I went in this office, and he just said, "Make me laugh." And I, did my stuff, and he kind of sat there looking at me like that. And afterwards, he said, "Thank you."
Was that the dream, to do Saturday Night Live?
I was thinking, if I get on TV, and then I'll get more exposure, and people will see my stand-up.
Maybe 3-4 weeks passed, they called me back, and I went in there again, and it was him and Liz Welsh and Mike Zanella. It was 3 people this time. It was to make us laugh.
I liked very much the imitations you did. The impressions were great.
By the end of season 5, Lorne Michaels asked to step away from the show, hoping to pause it for a year and return with a reimagined version. But NBC had other plans. Instead of waiting, they promoted his associate producer, Gene Dominion, to take over. Frustrated by the decision, nearly every cast member and writer followed Lorne out the door. Gene had to hire a whole new staff. And the truth is, the show needed Eddie.
I've been a junior at Cleveland High going on 7 years now.
They hired him as a featured player, because at the time, he was the youngest cast member they'd ever had.
I went in there and did my audition, and they called me back and they told me to make me a feature player because I was too young to be in the cast. They said, there's a lot of pressure. And then
midway through his first season, Eddie was promoted to the main cast, and that got the ball rolling.
Say what?
Did you know at that moment how your life was going to change?
Absolutely not. I remember the sound in the room and the feeling in the room the first time where it really worked, and it was like, this is on TV, and I couldn't wait.
Do you know how pure you have to keep yourself to actually still have a level of character that's not like degradable in a dark sense of humor? Really think about that. Like, everybody doesn't have that pure sense of just existing, man. I admire this. I look at it a lot differently because I'm older.
For the kids I went to high school with to see it, it's like, they gonna see this.
He's emerged as one of the brightest lights of the cast on that show. You welcome Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy. Thank you. Shut up.
He can take pretty much sole credit for rescuing Saturday Night Live from its early 80s slump.
I would be walking the streets, and people would walk up to me and be like, "Man, you be up on that show." They think I was getting high, and I wasn't. I wasn't high at all. I was 19. I went to the blues bar. It was me, Belushi, and Robin Williams. They go out and start doing, and I was like, "Oh no, I'm cool." And because I was really young, and it was been so easy to try some. I wasn't taking some moral stance, but I just wasn't interested in it.
He was too fixated on becoming a star.
Well, you're doing something now that you've obviously wanted to do, and that is a feature film.
48 Hours with Nick Nolte.
Originally, it was supposed to be, I think, a Gene Wilder, Richard Pryor movie.
My agent was sleeping with the director, and that's how I got the movie.
Being associated with Saturday Night Live, the public, quite naturally, they're expecting you to do a comedy the first movie that you do. They expect you to do something like, it's just a wild comedy. But I thought it would be hip while everybody was saying, when I do my movie to be a comedy, to come out and do a serious picture. I feel good, and the director feels good, and everybody feels good.
It was Eddie's first movie, and he was still finding his footing.
Chat, I'm not gonna lie to you. I would do anything to get a movie role, bro. Anything, like really getting your face out to a broadcasted audience, that's different, bro. Like a place in a movie, like, and you got a role, oh my goodness, like playing into a different role that's not you. Lock in.
There was a lot of discussions of me being fired, but I didn't even know about it. I was just so happy to be in a movie. I was just, gassed up. They really came close to firing me. And Jeff Katzenberg, my very dear friend, he came to the rescue.
He blew up so quickly, he became the first cast member to ever host SNL while still on the show, on a fluke.
Nick had been bailed out at the last minute, and we were in 48 hours together, so.
I'm the host of the show. Live from New York, it's the Eddie Murphy Show!
By his third season, Eddie was unstoppable.
You're into your third season on a popular television series. You have a new record album coming out. You have a film that shows you can not only be funny, but also...
See, this is scaring me because I don't know what's telling me this, but like, I gotta cut off everybody and just stay to myself, bro. I gotta stay solely so pure to where as though like, this is me cultivating my own energy. I gotta find it within myself, bro. Self.
Act dramatically. You've got
It's a power in self. I'm close, but I gotta harness it. I'm starting to understand it now.
Stand-up comedy routine you could take to just about any club in the country.
That comedy routine would later be known as Delirious.
Ice cream!
Nothing will ever be like Delirious. He took comedy to a level that no one's ever done. He is the best.
Is it all right if I come down there and
I'm the very first person to do a Michael Jackson, to say something funny about Michael Jackson in Delirious. And he thought it was hysterical because it's not mean-spirited.
Tito, get me some tissue.
Now, Michael, that whole red jacket thing in Thriller, after Delirious, without the red suit and all that. I'm not saying he was influenced, but I had on a red jacket before.
Comedians did not usually dress like that.
When Delirious came out, it was this big controversial thing because of language and subject matter.
Some criticized it for being anti-gay.
It's the jokes about homosexuals. Why does he do it?
I'm not a malicious comic, I poke fun. I don't stab you with my humor. I don't try to anyway.
He'd later put out a one-page statement apologizing for his jokes.
I treat it like a game, and the industry looks like, hey, he's dangerous and different. No, I don't want to trade places with anybody.
This movie should play in your theaters because we think we're making a comedy.
We think it's funny.
Did you ever dream that you would make it to the big silver screen?
That was part of my game plan to make it a screen someday, to do movies one day.
By 1984, Eddie's movie career was proceeding at full throttle.
After 48 hours, Paramount gave me some 5-picture deal for $15 million. And to us, that was like, I was set for life.
In early '84, he decided he was done with SNL.
I'm leaving the show in May. There are restrictions, and there's not much you can do on television. The censors won't let me do a lot of things I think is funny, so I have to.
Monday.com is the best AI for work, and here's why. Let me show you some of the mind-blowing things thousands of companies are already doing with Monday.com's AI. If you're in marketing,
Do movies.
He is currently starring in a film called Beverly Hills Cop. You weren't originally considered for this thing, were you? It was somebody else.
It was Sylvester Stallone. I think they wanted to make the movie funnier.
I was gonna do Ghostbusters, but Beverly Hills Cop was a leading role, and Ghostbusters was like an ensemble thing. I'd never been the lead guy, so.
At the time, Beverly Hills Cop was the third highest grossing movie ever, and Eddie was out of here.
At one point in the last couple of years, did you have dinner with Marlon Brando?
Yes. I was just blown away that, he had seen my work.
Back then, I just thought, oh, that's the way it is. You make a movie and then Marlon Brando comes. And he did a scene for 48 hours. So he said, you became a star when you said, I am your worst nightmare.
What the hell? Let's move on to something else.
Ronald Reagan is the president. There was no black Hollywood. You had the Jackson 5 and me and Magic Johnson. Okay. That was all the black people. That was all the black people around when I came out here. I kind of took it for granted.
And you seem to be a rather quiet and shy guy. Is that the real Eddie Murphy, or?
You said I was going crazy. It was happening too fast. I'd go from being the happiest guy in the world to being depressed.
It's really when you get famous really young, especially a black artist. I liken it to, it's like living in a minefield. At any moment you just step on a mine. At any moment something could happen that can undo everything.
But he couldn't slow down to watch his back. He was a rock star, literally.
I'm an artist and I just do a bunch of different stuff.
My mother would go to work and I'd get dressed up and do shows by myself in the basement. Or I'd break into the auditorium at the school and get on the stage and
do shows.
Is that when you did your Elvis Presley?
I do Elvis Presley concerts. I was Elvis for 40 minutes.
Elvis had a huge influence on me, and I was rolling like Elvis too. When we was on the road, I had a crew.
With like leather suits and like Elvis, man.
Then when I got older, it was like, oh my God, Elvis wasn't cool at all. Elvis was going through some
$1 million career by making people laugh. Well, now he wants to make them party all the time.
Eddie Murphy has been in Buffalo for almost a week. Most of that time has been spent inside Rick James' recording studio.
It's an album.
Yeah.
It's music. It's not comedy.
No comedy on it?
Like this. What?
In '85, Eddie decided to follow his passion and release a music album.
What happens is after a while, you start, I guess your ego goes nuts and you say like, I can do anything.
The album peaked at number 26 on the Billboard 200, but the lead single, Party All the Time, was a certified hit.
My girl wants to party all the time, party all the time.
Eddie Murphy went for the triple threat in the 80s.
Just like that.
When you hear the most talented man in show business, when you hear he's a genius.
You know, people dream about big things happening, but did you think it'd be this big?
You have a lot of people trying to be your friend.
I'm a Prince groupie.
The story about Prince challenging you to a game of pickup basketball.
I think it was at 85, like when all that androgynous was going on.
Prince had on that outfit that was in the Kiss video. And he was like,
Is anyone up for a game of basketball?
he was like, what the My brother was like, all right, it's gonna be shirts against blouses.
You had to give Prince respect and his props. He was like dribbling around you like Michael Jordan.
Games, blouses.
Eddie Murphy Raw is Murphy as Murphy in concert with the rawest of language, and he's never been funnier.
But one person didn't think so.
One of your heroes, Bill Cosby, whom you have not met, and he telephoned you. This is true.
I ran in the house all excited to talk to Bill and picked up the telephone, and Bill got raw on me.
I would like to talk to you about some of the things that you do in the show.
But what Bill Cosby gave you a hard time about?
About language and all that. No, that's...
I was so mad, I called Richard Pryor's house up and said, yo, Richard, Bill Cosby just called me up and told me I was too dirty. And Richard said, do the people laugh when you say what you say? I said, yes. He said, do you get paid? I said, yes. He said, well, tell Bill I said have a Coke and a smile and shut up.
Eddie Murphy lives up to the concert film standard set by the man he calls his idol, Richard Pryor. And that is high praise indeed.
Eddie was still the hottest comic in Hollywood. At Paramount, the only thing pulling in more money than him was Star Trek. He was untouchable. And right around then, his mother told him there was someone he should meet.
Keenan Wayans called me and said, why don't you meet us at the Improv? Because Keenan's a New York comic, and they were friends with Eddie. And we all met in front of the Improv. And Eddie's mother had told Eddie, I saw a young man on solid gold, and he did stand up. And I think you all look like you could be brothers. I want you to look for Arsenio when you get out there. And the first thing Eddie ever said to me in Murphy fashion, he looked at me and he says, you don't look like me.
And they made something incredible.
Fascinating.
Where'd the idea for Coming to America come from? It was God.
It's something that I wrote. I wanted to do something where I was playing a bunch of characters and wanted to do, something different.
I came up with it on tour, when I was on tour, in the back of a bus. The quest. And I wrote it down. And he called me, he said, how would you like to stop doing Ghostbusters cartoons?
Paramount was sued by Art Buchwald, who claimed they stole his idea for the film. They'd later settle for $900,000.
It was one of the best films ever. Because Coming to America became this cult movie. It became part of the culture.
Well, I was also impressed by Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall in terms of what they did on the screen. I thought that both of them showed an enormous range of comic ability.
Right. It even had a sitcom.
I didn't get a lot of help from Eddie Murphy. That surprised me. Never saw him the whole process.
The show would only produce one episode.
I can be a Beverly Hills Cop. You can be a Beverly Hills Cop too.
On his latest movie, Harlem Nights, Eddie Murphy did everything except develop the film. You took the step.
I'm this locked in because I'm thinking about everything I need to do as far as like outside of the box to really like what makes Eddie Eddie, right? What makes me me? Like I could morph, I could be all these different things at one time. I'm really thinking, Chad.
Every actor dreams of into directing.
Back then, they was calling it the New Black Renaissance, and you had all these new black directors, Spike Lee, Robert Townsend, all these guys were coming out.
Yeah.
Everybody was, So I was like, I'm gonna direct something too.
You had an added pressure when you were doing this movie, directing your idol.
Sweet as sugar. He's brilliant in my movie. He's brilliant, funniest, and coolest. Me and Richard Pryor played two guys that own an after-hours club in Harlem, and the mafia comes and tries to take our club over.
Michael Michelle was originally cast as Dominique LaRue, but was later fired from the role. She would go on to sue Murphy, claiming she was let go for rejecting his romantic advances. Murphy denied the allegation, stating he had never even had a private conversation with her. The lawsuit was settled out of court, and Jasmine Guy took over.
So you think you know Wicks, but do you really? First up, we've got Shake.
It's only business. The greatest comedian of all time, the king.
I've always been going. Don't get me wrong, he's not, like you and me. Yeah. Like it's Michael Jackson. But he's pretty normal.
And Michael wasn't.
And one thing y'all gotta admit, you can't say you're the king of anything till you on that stage, boy. Greatness recognize greatness, man. Because if somebody else embraces you and their greatness, what does that say about you, man? You could be the greatest in your city. You could be the greatest in your area. But, like, when you the king of something, like, you just got to respect it. And now we know Eddie Murphy's lore. Like, we watching it, y'all.
The only one he was getting close to.
What is the deal with you and Eddie and
Oh, Byron. We're friends, we're close friends.
Back in our youth, Whitney was another person, just a friend of mine. I may have gone to dinner with her a few times, but it was never like we were dating. We were never boyfriends and girlfriends.
She was enamored by Eddie.
274-2903. 213 area code.
Have you ever had a date from hell?
I invited Eddie Murphy to my house one time. He's not gonna like it. And I invited him to dinner. And I remember he said, yeah, I'll be there. And I pre-cooked and all the stuff, and he never came.
You did all the cooking?
That Eddie Murphy had called her the morning of her wedding to Bobby.
Yeah.
And warned her not to get married.
Whitney said, guess who just called? And I said, who? She said, Eddie. He must be out of his mind. He's gonna call me on my wedding day and tell me that I'm making a mistake.
Eddie had his fair share of women, and by 1990, he had become a father to 2 sons.
This is where I'm going to make my children.
Around that time, he also began a long-term relationship with model Nicole Mitchell, whom he met at the 1988 Image Awards. After nearly 2 years of living together, the couple married in March of 1993.
These days, Murphy is spending most of his free time with his longtime love, model Nicole Mitchell, and their 2-year-old daughter, Bria.
And you're getting married in March. March 18th.
Marriage and kids do not hit the same when you're not a multimillionaire. I'm just saying, like, I'm really standing on this, bro. Like, if I don't got that in life before the kids, to hell with me, to hell with my life, to hell with everything, bro. Like, I'm really crashing out about the success. And it's kind of fun, too, because it's like, it's not fun crashing out when you ain't really have no reason to crash out yet. But crashing out over trying to find what it is that I'm searching for, that's the real reason. It's love for the crash out, not the bullshit, though.
Happiest I've been ever right now.
But around that time, Eddie entered a low point in his otherwise Teflon career.
And so finally to another 48 hours. And if you're expecting this to be anything like as good as the original 48 hours, or even just a little bit better than Blue Heat, forget it.
By the time another 48 hours came out, Time magazine characterized Murphy as a stereotype, missing and presumed dead.
His latest film, Beverly Hills Cop 3, opens this Wednesday.
His latest picture still stinks.
Look, children, it's a falling star. Make a wish.
David Spade said that about my career on SNL. Vampire in Brooklyn, it came out. It was an added flop. And it was like, wait, hold on. Now, this is Saturday Night Live. I'm the biggest thing that ever came off that show. Now you got somebody from the cast making a crack about my career.
And he didn't make many friends in the Academy either.
Because they hadn't recognized black people in the motion picture.
After I said that, there was no mention. It was almost like I wasn't at the awards that night. The next day, there was no mention of it in the paper. And there were no pictures of me at the Oscars.
And I'll probably never win an Oscar for saying this.
You believe the government bugged your house at what point?
Well, we found a little microphone in my house, in my bedroom. Did I say the government? Somebody put a microphone in the 80s. All they heard in my room was serious going there.
Some criticism has come your way from people like Spike Lee, who has said, you know, Eddie hasn't really been in the forefront of the black film movement in the last 2 or 3 years.
I mean, there would be no Spike if there were no me, so you can't say like, well, Eddie hasn't done enough, because, hey, you here, ain't you?
His last couple of films were box office flops.
What happens is, as an artist, because you care what the critics are saying, you care what the audience is saying, you start trying to cater to them, and you be trying to make everybody happy, and you lose yourself trying to do it.
He had a few bright spots, of course.
Before Married America, Amy was struggling financially as a single parent. She worked as a truck operator.
There's something different about Eddie Murphy these days.
And I'm appalled because the mind didn't move from the bird. As you get older, you change.
You like being a dad? You have fun with it?
I want to look good for my wife, too.
Hey, you. The coolest thing about Boomerang and the most political thing about Boomerang is that it's a movement. All black cast, and it has nothing to do with being blacks or nothing.
You got to coordinate.
Yeah, this cat in the LA Times is tripping because there were no, there were white people in the movie, but there were no white leads in it. And you take the picture like Boys in the Hood. No one tripped about that because it was, a movie that dealt with like a violent thing, but regular thing, and it was business. Or we're the white people. Who's running that office? That kind of.
When I'm on camera with you, don't be,
Getting back in the song, I'm dropping a single with Michael Jackson called "What's Up with You."
Then things got nutty.
Hercules.
How many characters do you play in this movie?
7.
That you were playing 7 characters.
How much of Eddie Murphy is in any character that you played?
My sense of humor is there.
Yeah.
And that's part of my essence. So I guess it's some of me in everything.
And I'm walking on the set, and a fat dude comes up like, "Hey, man, you're real funny." I'm like, "Thanks." "Oh, yeah, Eddie Murphy." Who, by the way, I gotta say, is literally one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life.
I don't drink. I smoked a joint for the first time when I was 30 years old.
I've had wild times, but I've never been, yeah!
Eddie Murphy tells E.T. that his wife and children were out of town, says he wanted something to read and went to a late-night newsstand. He stopped here and picked up the suspected at 4:45 in the morning.
Deputies conducted a traffic stop of the car a few blocks away, at which time they learned that the driver was actor Eddie Murphy.
I love my wife, and I'm not gay, and I'm not, and that's what's weird about this, to have your sexuality question and your moral fiber question and all that one.
Shalimar Sayuli was found dead a year later. Police believe she tried to swing from the roof into her apartment window with a towel after getting locked out.
He was just being a good Samaritan at 4:30 in the morning in a neighborhood where kids hang out. Okay.
We have other news tonight.
Yes, we do.
Thankfully.
What's the best way to distract from scandal?
Hey, Doc, while you're out, get some salmon.
I just recently got married. It was like, I want to do some family stuff.
This movie is fun.
Any movie that I'm in, my kids ask me with the other actors. They go, "Hey, Daddy, is that you?" And they're like, serious. They thought Steve Martin was me.
And things started to look on the up and up again.
Hey, my man, how you doing?
My friend, truly comedic genius.
What's it like to wind up working with one of your heroes?
I mean, I was in awe. I was really, it was days he probably just found me looking at him.
When you see Arnold Schwarzenegger, you have certain expectations, and when you see Jim Carrey, you have certain expectations, And the same is with an actor like me. I've been around for a while, so when I put these makeups on, it kind of washes kind of erases my skin, and now I got a whole new place I can go. My wife won't kiss me while I have this stuff on, and all this like a strange, oh.
Eddie's absolutely wonderful.
As the new millennium rolled in, Eddie kept going. Some successes, some missteps.
Eddie Murphy has gotten divorced.
In 2005, Nicole Murphy filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. And just a year later, Eddie found...
Again, pay attention to this, because y'all think this generation that go crazy with cheating and the T app. Every time you get to that pivotal point of success, you always would want to do the right thing, marriage and kids, because financially you can. But when it comes to your purpose and what God has for you, it's only a moment, bro. You got to go through the good, the bad, and the ugly.
found his soul.
Man, how many times I got to tell you, no mayonnaise on a chicken sandwich?
Bringing the Tony Award-winning musical sensation to the big screen, Dreamgirls follows the rise and fall of a 1960s girl group on their quest for fame.
I saw the original play 5 times. I'm making movies for a long time, and just to be involved with a piece of material like this that's a dream come true.
Eddie Murphy is back and hitting the high note as smooth-talking James Thunder Early.
And I am telling you, I'm not going.
It's risky because, I'm known for, people come to see me in comedies, and Jamie is known for singing and acting, and Beyonce is known for singing.
If you gotta do it with an eyes, do it behind Eddie Murphy.
So I'm in uncharted waters, and I don't have an inch of makeup on to hide behind. It's just me out there with a pompadour wig on, singing.
But, I thought there we saw the real Eddie Murphy.
That wasn't me. That's not the real me. And when they offered the movie to me, they originally offered me Jamie's part. And I was like, oh, no, I want to play that other guy.
Eddie Murphy won a Golden Globe, and now he's the front runner for an Oscar.
I never got nominated for nothing, and it's a great time.
Won you a SAG Award, Golden Globe Award, your first Academy Award nomination.
And the Oscar goes to...
And I'll probably never win an Oscar for saying this.
Helen Arkin and Little Miss Sunshine.
You think that had something to do with it?
No, what do you think? I hope this opens up a bunch of opportunities to do different stuff.
But after Dreamgirls, Eddie went right back to what he knew.
And now a new movie, baby, that further proves he's back big time in Hollywood.
Norman.
Starring Eddie Murphy and Eddie Murphy and Eddie Murphy.
For a while, he rested on his laurels. Another wedding, another separation, and a baby with a Spice Girl along the way.
We planned that baby together and we were madly in love. And it just went wrong. Dramatically went wrong.
He denied paternity.
Y'all scaring me, bro. This is real. A couple wrong steps. That just tells me, with success, it's very strategical, hard work, and perseverance. That's all I can really think about, y'all. I'm so obsessed with success right now, bro.
The child until DNA tests proved otherwise.
He is very, very sensitive.
I like a day where there's nothing, and my kids, I can hear my kids, and wherever they at.
Imagine being able to build anything, for any reason, in any style.
I sit around and play guitar. The ideal day for me is nothing.
But in 2019, the comeback began.
Dolomite is my name.
Rudy Ray Moore. Why did you decide to do a biography of Rudy Ray Moore?
My fascination with Rudy Ray Moore just started off like everybody else. He had a little cult following.
In the opening credits, you dedicate this film to your brother.
An end credit.
Charlie Murphy passed away in 2017 after a battle with leukemia.
One of the funniest people ever.
So Eddie Murphy, everybody, returns to Saturday Night Live tomorrow night.
Not
happened since, I think, 84.
Chat, I deadass forgot about Charlie Murphy, bro. That nigga was funny, man. Rest in peace, bro.
It was kind of surreal.
And he made up with the former cast members.
I just felt bad. I was a little thorn in his side for all that time, but we're all good now.
That was your first Emmy? Why do I find that so hard to believe?
No. Why do you find it hard to believe?
Eddie was never an awards darling.
Black people will not ride the caboose of society, and we will not bring up the rear anymore. I want you to recognize it.
But that doesn't matter.
I've been in show business for 46 years.
You just finished Coming to America 2.
I couldn't be happier with how it turned out. And I've been in the movie business for 41 years. It's a blueprint, and I followed it my whole career. Pay your taxes, mind your business, and keep Will Smith's wife's name out your f***ing mouth!
Funny, as always.
Eddie Murphy's my idol.
Edward Regan Murphy is the reason I started doing comedy.
As always.
Smith's wife, mind your business, and keep Will Smith's wife's name out your f***ing mouth!
Funny, as always.
Eddie Murphy's my idol.
Edward Regan Murphy is the reason I started doing comedy.
This is sort of the king of comedy.
I always felt like it was a blessing. There's no higher blessing. You make people laugh. That's more than anything. It's more than making them dance and whatever, making them feel drama or what. To know and look around and see that all the good things that come in my life that came to me all came from making somebody laugh. That's a beautiful feeling, man.
For over 40 years, Eddie Murphy has lit up our screens. And simply put, he's the king.
That's it? Chat, oh my goodness.